Captain Elias Core woke before the stasis cradle finished opening. That alone meant something had gone wrong. Cold vapor spilled across the deck as circulation resumed. Gravity followed a moment later, firm and unremarkable. No alarms, no flashing warnings. The ship was calm, too calm for an unscheduled wake-up. He sat up slowly, waiting for his joints to decide whether they wanted to argue. They didn't, not badly. He swung his legs over the edge of the cradle and breathed once, steady. "Steve," Core said, "why am I awake?" There was a brief pause, just long enough to be noticeable.
"Good morning, Captain,"
the ship replied.
"You have been revived due to navigational inconsistencies I am unable to resolve within my autonomous safety envelope."
Core snorted quietly. "That means you ran out of safe answers."
"Yes."
Core stood and pulled on his boots. The ship's AI was officially designated STEVE, Systems, Traffic, and Environmental Vector Executive, but no one used that. Somewhere along the way, the acronym had become a name, and the name had stuck. Steve had been flying cargo longer than half the crew had been alive, and calling him anything formal felt dishonest. Steve didn't mind. Steve never minded. Steve did, however, wake people up when things stopped making sense. "How far off course?" Core asked as he stepped onto the bridge.
"Current estimates are unreliable,"
Steve replied.
"External reference frames are behaving inconsistently."
Core stopped at the doorway. "That's not an estimate."
"It is the most accurate description available."
The bridge lights rose to half strength. Outside the forward viewport, space looked the way it always did. Black, scattered with distant stars, no obvious threats or anomalies. The displays disagreed. Mass readings flickered at the edge of plausibility. Energy returns spiked, collapsed, then stabilized at values that should not coexist with empty space. Long-range sensors insisted something was there, while optics returned nothing at all. Core stared at the numbers. "Tell me that's a sensor fault," he said.
"I considered that first,"
Steve replied.
"All redundant systems confirm the readings."
Core exhaled through his nose. "Wake pilot Vance," he said, "and Rook, engineer in priority."
"Acknowledged."
He took the captain's chair and let the data scroll. He had seen sensor ghosts before. Radiation interference, stasis drift, calibration errors stacking just wrong enough to look meaningful. This wasn't behaving like a ghost. Stacy Vance arrived first, already focused. Stasis fog burned off by habit. She slid into her seat without a word and pulled up navigation manually.
"What's broken?"
she asked. "That's what I'm hoping it is," Core replied. She studied the displays, recalibrated, then frowned.
"That's not possible,"
she said. "Define not possible," Core said.
"There's mass ahead of us,"
she said carefully.
"enough to affect our trajectory.
And
there's nothing there."
Rook arrived moments later, rubbing his hands together like he expected to fight the ship itself.
"You want parts swapped?"
he asked. "I want you to prove Steve's wrong," Core said, physically. Rook nodded once and headed for the sensor bay. Minutes passed. Steve kept feeding them the same answer no matter how they framed the question. Gravitational influence without visible source. Energy output without radiation spill. Numbers that made sense individually and refused to coexist as a whole. Rook's voice came back over comms.
"Captain,"
he said,
"hardware's clean. I swapped modules, bypassed interpretation layers, ran direct feeds.
And
the readings got more consistent."
Stacy looked at Core.
"That's not how broken equipment behaves,"
she said. "No," Core replied. "That's how reality behaves when you don't like it." He tapped the armrest once. "Stacy," he said, "ease us toward the anomaly. Slow. Manual control." She hesitated, then nodded.
"Aye, Captain."
The ship adjusted course. At first, nothing changed, and then the long-range scanners began to saturate. Not spike, not flare, but flatten, as if the systems had reached the edge of what they were designed to describe. Mass estimates climbed, then stopped increasing, not because they had peaked, but because the numbers stopped being useful.
That can't be a single object.
Stacy said. Why not? Core asked him.
Because space doesn't do that.
Core watched the viewport, still empty, still normal. Steve, he said, any indication it's reacting to us?
No, Captain.
Any emissions? Signals? Leakage?
Negligible. Far below expected thresholds.
Core leaned back in his chair. He didn't feel awe. He didn't feel fear. Just irritation. Space was supposed to either show itself or leave you alone. Whatever this was, it was doing neither. They were still too far away to see anything. No structure, no surface, just an absence in the star field. That the instruments insisted was very much present. Core folded his arms. Keep us on this vector, he said, and don't wake anyone else until we actually have something to look at. Outside the ship, the darkness remained unchanged. Inside, the numbers refused to go away. The ship continued its slow approach. Nothing visible changed outside the viewport. The numbers did. Steve, Core said, recalculate projected safe distance. A pause, longer this time.
Captain,
Steve replied.
my previous safety margins assume objects with defined boundaries.
Core glanced at Stacy. She didn't look back. And this doesn't have one, Core said.
That is correct,
Steve said.
The anomaly's effective influence extends beyond the region in which mass density can be meaningfully localized.
Core frowned. To put that in simpler terms,
I cannot reliably determine where it begins,
Steve said.
only where its effects become measurable.
Stacy shifted in her seat.
That's not helpful.
I agree, Steve replied. However, it is accurate. The scanners updated again. Numbers adjusted themselves downward, then upward, as if trying to negotiate with something that didn't care. Steve, Core said, probability that continued approach compromises ship integrity. Another pause.
Unable to quantify.
Steve said.
Existing models do not converge.
Core drummed his fingers once on the armrest. You've never said that before.
That is correct.
Steve replied. Silence stretched across the bridge.
I am continuing to calculate.
Steve added.
However, the assumption that this phenomenon can be treated as an object may be incorrect.
Core looked back to the viewport, still empty, still nothing to see. Then what should we treat it as? He asked.
I do not have an answer that satisfies mission safety criteria.
Steve said, and that did it. Core straightened. Hold course, he said. No further approach until we see something with our own eyes.
Acknowledged.
The ship obeyed. The anomaly did not.